This is our weekly mashup. Good to have you back. So I hope you've all been well. My name is Steve Durr. I'll be your host today. I'm also one of the owners here at Cincinnati West Music Academy. We do lessons, we have artist services, we can even get you shows in these trying times. We do video stuff, we do shows, we do so much fun stuff. So please become a part of our fun group here at Cincinnati West. I'm also looking for a couple guitar teachers that can play bass, maybe some other instruments too, even better. Other than that, today we have the privilege to meet up with a friend of mine that I've known for quite a long time, Mr. Herzog of the band The Vile Doctrine. If you are a fan of metal, you will love these guys. I'm also going to have a video at the end of our interview that you can check out, which is very cool as well. They made it themselves. Oh, I think he's here. Let's go get him. Weekly mashup. I'm here today with a good friend of mine, Mr. Herzog.
Yo, what's happening, everybody?
He is the vocalist in the band, The Vile Doctrine. So, tell us a little bit about that. What were your influences before joining a band?
Before joining a band?
Yeah.
See, the first heavy band I listened to was Slipknot. It's like 8th grade.
Can't go wrong.
Yep, I listened to like a whole bunch of like radio rock and stuff like that, and Kit had CD, and he was jamming to it, and I'm like, what is that? And I put the headphones on, and
It's like
everything changed. Yep, it was like something totally different.
It was so weird too when Slipknot came out. The first thing I thought was like, what is all this random stuff happening right now?
Mm-hmm.
I was more into like Mudvayne at the time. It's more into like bands like, remember Dry Kill Logic and stuff
I
like
love
that.
them. Yep.
Yeah.
I just listened to them like a
And,
couple months
El
ago.
Nino at the time.
Yep.
Yeah, so like Slipknot was something that was totally different, and then it kind of took me to like the Iowa album to really get into them.
Okay.
And then I re-listened to the first album, and I was like, dude, this is great actually. So I totally understand that influence. Not only that, but I mean, Corey Taylor's vocals are hard to top, man.
And you can always tell that it's him too.
Exactly.
Like, if it's playing, I'm like, oh, that's Corey. Yep.
So you hear the new stuff that's recently been put out, and you're like, what's this?
His hip hop album.
I don't know how I feel about
Nah,
that.
I don't know.
I would rather have had a country album first or something.
Yeah, that's funny.
So over the years and stuff like that, with experiences, I know you've been in plenty of bands. Most of us in this scene have, and kind of in the same circles at that. But what are some experiences that always have stuck out? Like, is there anything that you've ever played where it was just like, wow, this is spectacular? You know, like it's like that moment that you know that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. Or something funny in general.
Probably like most recently. So the hardcore scene in Cincinnati is actually really, really good, close knit.
Yeah.
Like they all support each other, which is really cool. So like when I was in a band, Killbot, like in my early 20s.
Love that band.
Yeah. You know, there was like the same bands played all the time and everything, but we all went our separate ways. But like now it's like very cool to see everybody as like a friend. They all support each other and everything. And we got to open up for this band, The Convalescents. I think they're from a little north of here. I forget where they're actually from. Toledo.
Nice.
Yep. And we played that, and I mean, there was probably like 125 people just like hanging out, like 7:30 on like a Wednesday or something
That's
like that.
rad,
Yeah,
dude.
it was awesome. But it made me real proud to like be in the scene as long as I have. Like, you know, I've been doing it since I was like 17, 18, 34 now.
You ever run into someone you haven't seen since like back when like it was just starting, and it's just crazy to see what they're doing
I
now?
still just get like, you were in Killbot. Like, yes, I was. Yep.
That's
like
so funny.
I'm a little more bearded now, but
Yep.
But
like,
yeah, it's really cool that, you know, everybody's so supportive, and they're all like much younger than me. So I'm just like,
kind of cool though, because you get that sense of you get to be a little bit more of a moral compass to them and say, hey, you know, like learn from this mistake.
Yep.
You know, like don't do that. I promise you, it'll not get you anywhere, kind of thing. You know, and that's you know,
along that topic, actually, you know, if you were to say something to like somebody that's just starting out that wants to do things that you're doing, what would be a few of the key things that you would say are musts and things that you just shouldn't do?
Must stay positive. I mean, you're not going to get to the top right away. Like you're gonna play some really bad shows, and you're gonna play some shows that aren't.
That's a fact.
Yep. Like I've played in front of people that were just there in the bands,
Yep,
and then
and the
like
girlfriends.
bands have even like left like mid set. Like, so I mean, there's gonna be a lot of disappointments. You just gotta stick to it. I mean, I love doing it. It's why I keep doing it.
I always saw it as a way of just being like, well, at least, even if the show's not that great, we get to practice in front of people.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if
they
it's
still
paid,
get to hear
hey, cool, we get a paid band to practice that, so that's even better. At a location that's
Paid?
different. Yeah, right?
What's that?
Yeah, that only seems to happen when you pick up an acoustic guitar and play like Jimmy Buffett and crap, so I'm started on that
Paid
one.
shows are hard to come by, especially when you're playing some death metal.
Exactly. So I think that like a lot of times I think now kids are like, they get into music, but they're so used to everything being so on demand now. Like they can press a button, they can do this, they can be like, oh, okay, well, I don't really know how to play bass. So then they look it up and they can, program their bass, they can program their drums. Do you think at any point in time that could be a problem at some point when it comes to like actual band shit?
I know a lot of drummers kind of feel left out in the recording process now because drums can be programmed. It's actually kind of saved us. We haven't had a drummer in a while.
Yeah.
Kind of hard to find one who wants to play that style of music. We might have somebody soon. So.
Nice.
Yep. But yeah, so the writing process has continued for us because my guitarist Tony is able to program the drums.
Awesome.
So he keeps writing, those licks, and then we can just play that over
That's
the PA.
what we always did too. We would always program them, but then when we did like the album, we would actually do the drums for the album, like in the studio. And I don't know, it was nice. It was very nice for pre-pro. Like now I see like people like, I would never rip on anybody like Billie Eilish, stuff like that. You know what I mean? Her and her brother in her house made like these huge albums now that if you listen to them, they're really not very complex or anything. There's not a whole lot to them and stuff like that. And sometimes I think to myself like, man, should labels eventually be obsolete and everybody kind of do it on their own thing? Should people kind of self-fund a label of bands that work together to make sure that it's like a band union, they don't screw each other over, nobody's taking anybody's stuff out of the pocket? That's what I'm saying. So sometimes I wonder, if it's best that since people can do this stuff on their own now, if they should continue to do so. And I think it's a huge yes. Everybody gets that rock star thought in their head of what they saw when they were younger. You know what I mean? The partying behind stage, all the crazy antics, sniffing up freaking, ants and pee off the pool, whatever, things like that. And it's like, it's funny because even when you do bigger shows and stuff, it's you get done and you just kind of pack up, hang with your bandmates, and then you're home or something, or on to the next show. It's like, it's nothing like what people think it is, and it's just, I don't know. So I always try to kill that misconception right off the bat, like, hey man, you're not just gonna walk in there and be an instant rock star.
Nope.
It's like, so just go in there, have fun, and just act like you're having, the time of your life with a million people.
Yeah, play those songs that like you put your heart into. Like, I mean, like I said, I've been doing it since I was 17, 18 years old, and just to get in front of everybody and if they understand what I'm saying, like
still, I'm sure somebody's probably asked you like, hey, do you have like the lyrics?
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. So if they ask what a song is about, I'll tell them, and try to relate as much as possible.
Was there a song that you've written lyrically that sticks out more than a lot? Any of them that just kind of has like a really specific special meaning that
Not in recent years. This last thing that I did with the Vile Doctrine, we did our EP. It's called Domain. We just put that out in March. It's on all streaming platforms.
I'm gonna go ahead and add that right above my hand, right here.
We have a music video too on YouTube. that we shot ourselves, like super low budget. It's fun.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it was cool.
Well, hey, make sure I get the link to that because I'll post it to this video, so that way after this interview here, you guys can check it out. Leave comments, like the page, subscribe, all that good stuff. So
Do it.
do it.
But yeah, the concept was mostly like serial killer stuff.
Yeah.
I like writing stories a little more so than
Yeah.
like, you know, thoughts and feelings and everything.
Yeah.
But the one that I really liked was just I don't know, kind of like blanked on that one.
Are you good, man? I do it all the time.
It was
comes
like
with territory.
it was like the passage through like death and where you're gonna go after that.
Topic that we're all curious about.
Yep, just like where you're going to end up and your trials and tribulations after that and everything. I really like that one. It's a lot slower too, a little more doomy than
I found
stuff
that
I've
like
done.
a lot of the ones that do mean a lot more tend to be those ones. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like I don't know. Think about it as in like you hear. I don't know. You just wouldn't hear like I don't know. What's a good example? You wouldn't hear Cannibal Corpse like full on blast beating, and then in the background he's like, "I love you." It's just like you wouldn't hear that really.
Yeah.
With Killswitch you might though.
Yeah, Killswitch. Would.
Yeah, they were very loving folks there. So, let's see, we kind of already did a little bit of touching on info about the band. When did you guys start?
They started probably like maybe like 7 years ago. They were a band called Kingdoms Burn for a
Really?
long time. Yep. Saw them a handful of times, and then their singer had moved away, and they were looking for a vocalist for a while. And I sent them some stuff that I had done and went and tried out. I'd never tried out for a band before.
Nice.
That was super nerve-wracking. I was
Dude,
just
yeah.
like,
It's because you're wondering, like, what do they expect?
Yep.
You know?
I was so used to just
Yeah.
jamming with friends and stuff and like being accepted already, and so like when I tried out for them, it was a different experience, and I could tell right away that they were like digging it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so it was
It's
just
a
like,
great feeling, man.
you know, felt at
At
home jamming with
yeah.
them and everything.
Supporting the bands now. That's another thing that I would recommend to people is to find people that you can jam with. That you know, it feels like fun. It feels like a friendship. It doesn't feel like you're just like meeting up with a coworker. You know what
Yep.
I mean? It's like actually means something. And that's a hard thing to come by in a group. You know what I mean? I think that's why we all go through so many bands at points in our lives, because it's finding those people, the right lineups.
Yep.
You know, and then there's always, you ever thought to yourself, like, if you could, like, take bits and pieces from every band you've ever been in and just, like, start a band that you have imagined in your head?
That'd be
And
cool.
It would, but it's so hard and impossible to do, pretty much. But
Mhm.
I always felt like there's some of those bands that just did it, you know, and it was like, you can't get a better combination than that. Like, Lamb of God, to me, like, how could you have a better combination of musicians?
Yep.
They're just...
I mean, Randy was a little punk dude,
Yeah.
like, and then he just
Yep.
realized that he could scream fairly well, and you know, started them.
And you got that melting pot. I mean, hell, you know, Chris Adler, I know, like, he has a huge jazz background.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
Yeah, and it's like, what? Yeah.
That's cool.
So that is awesome stuff. I love that. Now, is there anything that kind of excites you about what's going on with music now? Like this generation of, like, I've seen, or even like on a national level? Is there anything that's really exciting? Because, I mean, right now we can't see shows,
Mhm.
so there's got to be something to look forward to. What do you think could be something to look forward to?
Like I said, the hardcore scene's really good here. Everybody seems, you know, real close knit and everything. And I know once shows start back up, those same people are going to be
Back
there.
Hopefully in the masses now.
Yeah. Like I'll go to shows at like Yacht Club down in Northside, and I mean even just
Good joint.
Yep, even just a like a local show. I mean there's probably still like 50, 60 people there like during the week. So I mean that's pretty good, especially for that style of music. The like death metal scene is starting to pick up. Will Feiner, he books a lot of good shows.
We'll find it.
Yep. We
Check
might
him
have
out.
a show coming up with him here soon. We're in talks with him, doing stuff, so see how that goes. He'll book at like Northside Tavern and a few other places, Southgate House,
Nice.
stuff like that.
I love Southgate.
Yep.
Is it Revival or actual like Thompson House?
Revival.
Oh,
I think he'll
I
get
like them
shows.
both, really,
Yeah,
honestly.
I think he'll get shows at Thompson House and everything
The
too.
thing that's a bummer about Southgate House is that you can't use smoke machines.
Oh, okay.
Always bummed me
Huh,
out.
that's
Yeah.
funny.
It's
Why?
just their sprinkler system.
It's too thick and it'll just like kind of
Exactly.
clog it. And set
They've
it
had
up.
some problems, I guess, in the
Yeah.
past. It's like, that's such a bummer, man.
Yeah.
But it stopped us from doing a lot of shows just because, like, you know, we'd always have those, like, lasers and crap in the background. So it was like, you can't see them unless there's fog, you know? So it always kind of, like, was a damper on things. But we got to shoot a music video there, and
It's cool.
it's such a good spot for that, man. That whole area has a good spot for
Mm-hmm.
that. Is there anything that you think might be kind of bad musically that's going on currently? I know everybody's got their own thoughts on that, but do you think there's anything that's kind of harming the scenes right now?
With metal and stuff, I mean, it's kind of like the unity thing.
Mhm.
You know, you got like your traditional metalheads, you got your death metal, you got your hardcore, and it just hardcore and metal don't really like have shows together
Yeah.
at all. They used to back in the day, like when I was in Killbot, like we played with, you know, just straightforward metal bands.
Yeah.
We were kind of like more metalcore before the singing, like before that like really like took off and stuff how it is
Yeah.
now. But when I was in bands later on and trying to get a show like with more hardcore bands, it didn't really fare over well. You know, people wouldn't come to the show. They
Fans, is that what mainly was?
yeah, they wouldn't stick around. It's like they have their own little sects.
Code, basically.
Yep. So
kind of like how
it's
there was
just
like
kinda-
the straight edge hardcores, and there was like just the straight up like metal guys.
Mhm.
And it seemed like every time they came together, it was just a clash
Yep.
of some sort. It was like, dudes, can't we just have fun?
yeah.
You
But
know?
now, I mean, that's not really
an issue at all.
an issue with that. Like,
yeah, which is great, man. You know, I mean, hell, even I stopped drinking and all that stuff, quit smoking cigarettes.
It's good, man.
So it's like back in the day when I used to have the straight edge guys running after me. Now it's like, oh, well, now you can't do that. So I think that if there was to be any track that you think would be a good representation of your band, The Vile Doctrine, what do you think that track would be?
Probably our video that we did. It's called Abyssal. You know, I wrote about like serial killers and stuff like that. That was just kind of like what I deemed like all the songs kind of like connected and everything. And Domain is like the mindset of that person. But if you check out the video, you'll definitely see what I mean. It was a lot of fun. You know, we shot it ourselves.
Which, again, it's so awesome because we can do that nowadays, and it's like, I don't know, it's cool. It's kind of cool, man, because you can look at somebody and be like, hey, man, why don't you just like get this program on your phone or like get your program on your computer, and you can do this, and that. And then you start messing around with it, and it's like, dude, like, I don't know, it's so fun to not only create your own music, create your own videos. That's what makes it fun. I feel like you walk into sometimes like a set. I got to do like one that was like, it was all set and staged and everything. It was fun, but it was also kind of really strange because it was just like surrounded by people I don't know telling me to do stuff that I was,
And you're acting and stuff like that
exactly.
too.
So it was
probably
like,
made it a little tougher
yeah, it did very much so. You know, because
to
it's like
animatronic.
yeah, because like, you know, the way I look at the video and I'm like, oh man, I'm not jamming like that. I don't look like that. You know?
Who is that guy?
Exactly. So
Yeah.
it's like, you know, you just think back on it and it's like, I think it would have been a little bit more comfortable
Yeah.
if I was like surrounded by, like, my crew was just my homies and me making the videos.
That's cool.
But awesome, cool. So I guess let's see, one last question here for you. And by the way, remember we're gonna post that video right after this interview, so stick around and check out the video for Abyssal. So you have, see, anything kind of in the workings for the future? Anything that you've been working on? Any Corona music been coming out since some time's been there? Anything like that?
Like Jimmy Buffett? No,
Yeah.
no, We have like 3 or 4 songs that we're working on right now. One kind of sounds like Black Dahlia Murder.
Yeah.
Another one's kind of like the Acacia Strain, which is my
What was
favorite
that?
band.
I saw you got one of the vinyls the other day, didn't you?
I've had that one.
Had one?
Yes. They actually did just put out a LP not too long ago called The Slow Decay. That was really good. And then they did a little EP that came out at the end of the year last year. So I mean, they just like cranked out like 20 songs in like a matter of like a year and a half, probably. It was pretty good.
It's motivation.
But yeah, so trying to like, you know, find our little style and stuff. I think we got like 4 songs in the mix.
That's great, man. That's already a good start right there.
Yep. And then Domain has 5 songs. We do a cover, the first cover I've ever done. It's Super Beast by Rob Zombie.
Yeah, we watched that actually. It was on our Facebook feed.
Yeah, that was fun.
Andrea
I tried to
watched
be
it.
like as clear as possible. Like,
It sounded great.
thanks, man.
We had a lot of fun with it. We were like, damn, it's pretty cool, you know? And the funny thing is about it, it's like I kind of wonder like what Rob would think, you know what I mean? It's like, it was definitely heavier than their version was, you know?
Yeah, it's fun. When we play that live, like we get like people 2-stepping and stuff like that.
Nice.
I'm like hell yeah, like 2-stepping to some Rob Zombie.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
fun.
fun.
Yeah.
So, I was gonna do like a serious one. So, if there was anything that was the most sincere way to explain what music has done for you, how would you explain it to somebody? If somebody said, why music? What did it do for you?
It's the only thing that's really like ever fully like touched my soul. Like I feel music. Like sometimes, you know, you hear that song and you get goosebumps. I mean, if you get goosebumps listening to a song, you know you're connected to that music in like a totally different way than other people. Like, you know, some of my family members might like music, but they don't like it as much as me.
Yeah.
They don't feel it. Like I'm riding that wave a lot differently than like other people. So
Kind of like the difference between somebody that likes like I don't know, something intricate like say Bohemian Rhapsody versus Crazy Bitch. You know, I feel like everybody that likes like, you know, the whole bar music, it's just they feel in a different sense if I just want to dance and get wasted. You know, where a lot of us musicians and stuff like that, it's how we feel.
Yep. And I mean, you know, when you get up on stage and you start playing those first couple notes and you just like go somewhere else. Like I turn into a different person, like especially for the people who have like seen me or like played with me and stuff. I'm kind of like all over the place. Like I get in people's faces, I'm like pointing at them and stuff, and like I'm scolding them and stuff. And then you talk to me after the show, and I'm just like,
Exactly.
I'm like the easiest going person. But then like on stage, you see me and I can let loose. Like obviously, I have a lot of like angry thoughts and stuff.
Everybody does, yeah.
So it's a way to connect to other people too. Yep.
I agree, man. And connect to other people, that's a huge topic right there for me. I always thought that music in a sense was kind of like a universal language, because like there's even music that like let's say from other countries, there's a lot of German bands I really like, Norwegian bands, things like that, and it's like I might not understand a damn word they're saying, but I can feel the music and I know it makes me feel a certain way. So even though I don't understand their language, I understand what they're playing.
Yep.
You know, and it's kind of cool that when I was in college, I wrote a paper about that, and I got like a C- because they said the topic of music as a universal language just doesn't make sense. I'm like,
No, it really does.
It really does make sense. It's like because it's in every part of your life, every part.
Everybody
When you watch
can
a movie, when
play
you
a
drive
little
your car.
drum. Everybody can play a drum beat.
Yeah.
Like
When you're in an elevator, dude, even when you're in a public restaurant taking a dump,
yeah.
it's music.
Yep.
So
Was that in time?
exactly right, yeah. So it's just stuff like that, and it's really cool to talk to other musicians, see what they think about what's going on, and see where they came from, and it's really nice to just see people in general right now. So that's always nice. By the way, don't worry, I had a procedure yesterday. I'm corona-free. Let's keep it that way. But yeah, dude. So I look forward to everything that you guys do. Make sure you give me the link to your guys' pages and stuff.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and post that on there so you guys can check it out, subscribe. We're going to put that video on there for you guys. And I want to thank my friend Eric very much for being here. You guys check out the Vile Doctrine. It's going to be amazing as soon as we can start playing shows again. And I look forward to seeing you guys out there jamming. And I'll be headbanging in the crowd for once, so that's nice.
Yeah, there you
I
go.
enjoy it very much. Well, cool. Thanks, guys, for our interview segment here of the weekly mashup. More to come. Stick around.
Cool. Take care, guys.
Perfect. And as always, folks, remember, stay safe out there. Get your hand sanitizer on. Couple things to announce here. We've got Flam 7. They just joined us. They do percussion stuff. So you can order heads, you can order sticks, top name brands, you can order practice pads, so much stuff. Anything drum, basically. And these prices are unbeatable right now. So you want to get a hold of Scott Brown at Flam 7.
check him out on Facebook. You can also come here to Cincinnati West Music Academy and talk to him yourself. Currently right now on Thursdays and Saturdays. So get a hold of him, all your drum information, and he'll get you taken care of on prices that are unbeatable here on the West Side. As always, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for stopping by. Love to see you soon. Rock and roll, everybody.